Hello! My birthday was September 2nd, so to celebrate, I've decided to upload episodes from my Mindfulness podcast series, Reading with Cari, every day through the month of September. Once we hit October, I'll be posting the episodes every Friday with the bonus minisodes on Saturday. To catch the episodes as they air every Wednesday, you can subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Click the link in the description below to go directly to my podcast's website. Hope you enjoy! Hello and welcome to Reading with Cari, a mindfulness podcast series that can be used as a sleep aid or to ease your anxiety and relieve your stress. I am your host, Cari Favole, and I am so thankful that you've decided to spend some time with me. This is our third Minisode episode, and I again wanted to take a moment to address self-love or self-care, whichever terminology you prefer, as that is truly the core of this podcast. Helping you sleep or relieving your anxiety, these are acts of compassion that you give to yourself, and I hope that I am able to assist you with that. Today, I want to touch on how you speak to yourself when you're alone. Are you kind to yourself? Or do you tend to almost bully yourself into feeling shame or guilt? When you find that you're putting yourself down, there is a CBT practice that I encourage you to do instead. Again, I am not a medical professional, but I have studied mindfulness-based cognitive therapy enough to know that engaging in negativity, especially negative thoughts about self, is not self-love. This exercise uses cognitive restructuring, if you'd like to look more into it yourself. It's really just a series of questions to determine if this thought you are having is true or helpful, and if it is not, how to reshape that idea into a positive notion. And when your thoughts are positive, your mood and emotions will also change to be more uplifting and positive. So let's do this exercise together, and again, this might be hard to do on your own when you're in the thick of it, so save this podcast to come back to when you need it. I'll also list the bullet points we go over in the description so you can copy it and keep it somewhere you'll remember it. Maybe on your phone under Notes for when work or school gets really tough. Or you may want to print it out and leave a copy on your nightstand for when you feel a restless night approaching. First, we're going to start with a brief breathing exercise. It helps to calm your mind a bit so you can focus. Then I'm going to ask you some questions that'll help change your perspective and way of thinking. And finally, how you feel. In a comfortable sitting position, with eyes open or closed, arms wherever they are comfortable, legs in a relaxed position, take note of your body, the shape that it's in, the weight of each limb resting together. Now focus inward on your breathing, and without forcefully changing your breath, feel your breathing slow as you count inwardly on a count of 4. Hold the breath for just a moment and focus on the sensation in your chest. Breathe out on a slow count of 4. And listen to your body. Feel the sensations, the touch of each part. The connection of you with the item you are sitting on, a chair, the bed, the carpet. Feel yourself relax. Soften your breath in a slow, steady rhythm. Feel the natural flow of your breath. Don't force it. Just feel how your body naturally goes through the motion. Where do you feel the breath in your body? Can you feel it enter through your nostrils, in your throat, down in your lungs, or deeper in your diaphragm? Feel the sensations of your breath. And don't try to anticipate the next movement. It's all right if your mind wanders. Just gently refocus back to your breathing. Stay in the moment for a few more breaths. In and out. In and out. And now, I am going to ask you a short series of questions. Be honest and open. If you need to, you can write down your answers. I will give you a few seconds between each question. Don't feel pressured to rush through this exercise. Pause the podcast as you need to and continue when you are ready. First, select a troubling thought that you are having difficulty letting go of. This could be a worry or an anxiety that has been following you like a dark cloud. I often think I am not good enough to reach a goal, or talented enough to be successful, or smart enough to finish a task. What is bothering you the most right now? I am now going to ask a series of questions that I want you to consider. We are going to figure out if the thought you have is actually true. I am going to ask these questions in first person so you can more easily connect with them. What is the evidence or proof that this thought or fear is true? Is there any evidence that disproves my thought? What is the evidence that this thought may not be true? Are there any facts I'm ignoring or have overlooked? Am I discounting any small things that contradict my thought that I may consider unimportant? Am I using any words that are extreme or exaggerated? Words like should, must, always, never. Am I reading someone else's mind and treating it as fact? Now we're going to examine any other possibilities or possible explanations this thought might have. Is there any other way to view this idea or thought? If my friend was having this thought, what would I tell them? If my friend knew I was having this thought, what might they say to me? When I'm not feeling this way, do I look at this situation any differently? If I were to look back on this in 5 years, might I look at it any differently? Am I blaming myself for something I don't have control over? Have I had any experiences that show that this thought isn't always true? Am I ignoring any strengths that I have? Are there any positives that exist in the situation that I haven't considered? Now we're going to think about what you can do to help deal with this thought or situation. What have I learned from previous experiences that can help me now? When I felt this way in the past, what did I think about that helped me feel better? What's the worst that could realistically happen? what's the most likely thing that could happen? If the worst did happen, what could I do to help myself cope? By the end of this short questionnaire, you should have developed an alternative view or remembered an old thought that will help balance out the negative thought or fear you are facing. Hopefully, you are now thinking a bit more positively and are more kind to yourself than you were at the start. Remember to do this as often or as much as you find the need for it. The more you do it, the more you will train your mind to think of alternative perspectives, and the less often you will be stuck with negative thoughts. Again, this process is called cognitive restructuring. If you're still having difficulty, or if you'd like more information, I recommend you visit mindtools.com, that's mindtools.com/pages/article/new TCS_81.htm. This link will also be listed in the description. I highly encourage you to walk through creating your positive affirmations, which can be found on this website as well. And I'll actually dedicate the next minisode on that concept, since I think it's really beneficial. Thank you for listening. I welcome you back anytime you may need to hear a comforting voice or a familiar bedtime story.